Health experts are saying that strict parenting can cause a child to overeat, leading to obesity. But others say you can be a firm parent without being strict and demanding. Dr. Randy is a psychologist in Clifton Park, and he joins us now with some good parenting advice. And we were talking because when I saw this and I read this, I thought, I would think it's the opposite, that if you're very free and lenient with your kids, they eat a lot of things. But we have to look at the definition, right?
Yeah, the terminology that they used here is very misleading, Elaine. So part of it is when you think strict, a lot of people think, well, that's firm. Maybe I shouldn't be so firm around eating. Well, when you look at this research, the researchers were talking about parents who are kind of like the drill sergeant parent.
Okay.
Do this, don't do that, eat this, put that away, stop that. It's that kind of very controlling and demanding parenting style. And of course, what that leads to, if you put that into the dinner table, is that leads to parents taking complete control over every moment. You're going to eat every piece of that potato or whatever it is, you know, so that what happens is that kids never have the opportunity to really learn, and it becomes a very tense, a very anxious environment. And that is not a healthy thing for kids, whether we look at the dinner table or we look anywhere.
So what would you suggest? I mean, if you have a little one, and that's a tough area because kids, they may not even taste the food, but they look at it and it doesn't look appetizing.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't like vegetables. So what would you suggest?
Well, then teaching kids to eat healthy is relatively simple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it really is. First of all, and I talk about this all the time. I talk about it on my website. I talk about it to groups. You've got to be a role model for what you want. You can't expect that you can overeat or that you can make poor choices and then talk to your kids about eating healthy and that they're going to follow. So first thing is I've got to be a good role model. I've got to show them. Secondly, in the home, we make good choices about what food to have in the fridge or in the cupboard. You can't buy junk food and then
tell me not to eat it.
That's right. It's just ridiculous. Well, you can only have 2 of those cookies when there are dozens sitting there.
Right.
That's a very tough thing to teach kids. So it's much easier, just like it is for us as adults, to not have the food there as a temptation. You know, and this whole thing with simple carbohydrates is so important that parents learn what does it mean to buy simple carbohydrates. And in the research there, if there's one area that we're conclusively clear about is that we need to limit those with kids.
Let's say you don't have a child who is just learning what you want them to eat, but your child's already obese. What do you do?
Yeah, great question. Well, Elaine, the key there is to take those first 2 steps. Look at myself. What am I doing? Secondly, get that healthy food in the house. And thirdly, just prepare healthy food, put it on the table, and then be prepared that kids may not like that. You know, if you're going to make a change, they're going to yell and scream, and they're going to throw a fit. And they might even say, I'm not going to eat. And the key there is to not get into that controlling thing and to say, you don't want to eat? That's okay, sweetheart. I'm sure you'll be hungry next time. And it may take a day or 2, and sometimes it's 3 or 4.
Right.
But generally, kids come around.
They're hungry.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Randy
Thanks,
for joining us.